Let's start with the main event. Anthony Joshua. My goodness, this has been a fight that we have been looking to see, and a fight that I've been waiting to see from Anthony Joshua, not because of the opponent, but because of what's at stake. This was a fight that, for everybody who didn't know, he faced off against Wallin on the Day of Reckoning and had an absolute masterclass of a performance. This was beautiful. This was absolutely beautiful coming from Anthony Joshua. This Joshua is the Joshua that I've been waiting on. This Joshua is the Joshua that I've been saying, if we see it, he will be back and he will be a threat again to the title contending upper echelon of the heavyweight division. Better yet, he will be a threat to the title holders of whoever will be the new undisputed heavyweight champion in the world come February between Tyson Fury and Wallin and Alexander Usyk. Those two fighters were seen as cut and dry above the best, with AJ in many people's eyes could be a close third, maybe fourth if people had Wilder above him. We're going to get into Wilder, trust and believe, but we're talking about beforehand. With Anthony Joshua, he was losing stock. He was losing ground. Despite the knockout with Robert Elenius, he was still seen as somebody who still hadn't proven that he was really ready to touch the brass ring again. That is the heavyweight championship. There was no way that we would see AJ be able to get him again because of the AJ that we had seen in the past. The AJ that got knocked out by Andy Ruiz. The AJ that even in the cover by Andy Ruiz switched up his style completely. And then what happened? Lost against Usyk again, and we have seen that the effects of that loss in Ruiz kept on recurring and coming back on Anthony Joshua. Demons that he couldn't let go. Issues that he couldn't just relent. Problems that he wasn't able to shake off. And he wasn't able to fight over. Seemingly he was hesitant. Seemingly he was cautious. Seemingly he wasn't the Joshua of old. Seemingly Anthony Joshua had lost the same spark and confidence that had gotten him to the big dance, that had gotten him to be seen as not only one of the biggest stars in the UK, but one of the biggest stars around the world, and the best heavyweight in the world at one point in time. We were saying, would he ever get back to that point? And it seemed like a far-fetched ordeal. However, now, this is a completely different AJ, which is great. Actually, let me rephrase it. It's not a completely different AJ. This is an AJ that looks like the Anthony Joshua we've been clamoring for. This AJ against Otto Wallin was confident, was walking Otto down, was able to slip and counter with confidence without fear of getting hit back. Granted, Otto Wallin is a brother that can crack heavily. He's only got, 8 knockouts, I believe, to his name. And if it is above 10, it ain't that much. So it ain't like Otto Wallin was a heavy hitter. Yes, we know he was tough. Yes, we know he is game. Yes, he know he can go to war with anybody if necessary. We saw how tough he was against Tyson Fury. He's respectable. But AJ against other respectable opponents hadn't been putting up performances that we've been needing to see from Joshua. Now we can't say that anymore. Again, walked him down, confidently countering Wallin at every shot that he threw. You saw a game plan, jabbing and going straight to the body, up high, down low, consistently all night long, looking like a killer, looking like somebody who has complete control of the ring, not second guessing himself, throwing combination punches. Maybe not 3 or 4 punch flurries, but it will be back-to-back 1-2 combinations. Jab straight, jab hook, jab to the body. Another second later, jab to the head, jab to the body. Another second later, a straight and then a hook. There was a flow and an outright aura of I'm here to seek and destroy. An outright aura of I'm back to what I need to be. That's what AJ showed. And it was phenomenal. It was great. He wasn't fighting scared. He wasn't fighting, I need to be cautious. He wasn't fighting and seemingly caught between two styles. This new trainer, I forget his name and I apologize, but the new trainer that he's under after leaving Derek James has gotten this brother right. He's found a style that fits him. He's found a style that that embodies everything that he is best at. Again, we get Otto Wallin isn't a big puncher, like I said previously. That doesn't matter. Because against big punchers or non-big punchers, it was still the same thing of Joshua not being confident. Joshua not being the AJ that we knew he could be. Joshua seemingly having mental blocks and holding himself back. That's what Anthony Joshua was doing. And now it's not the case anymore. Now, seemingly, it's not the case anymore. This is a Joshua that was able to walk him down for what was it, 6 rounds? 6 rounds. Walk him down, move confidently, have an aura of I am better than you, and you know it. Moving Otto Wallin around the ring. Utilizing his power to the fullest extent, throwing him off balance, hurting him. Consistently, up until he got the fight stopped in the 6th round. It was a complete and utter devastation. And he would have knocked him out if the fight had been able to continue and the corner didn't stop it. This fight by AJ was a statement fight, not just to Wilder, but to himself and every other critic, myself included, who's been a critic of AJ, and rightfully so. That all that noise I've heard, and you can't say that anymore. That's what this performance was to shove it in everybody's face that no longer are you going to keep on talking about me, critiquing me, downplaying what I can do, downplaying what I can be, saying I'm not what I used to be. You're right, I'm not. In his mind, I'm better. That's what he tried to project and did project. That's what he projected to everybody. This was a statement performance that we can't help but laud and applaud. Because this is phenomenal for the Anthony Joshua that can compete with Usyk, that can compete with Fury. This Anthony Joshua is somebody that can get a heavyweight championship. This Anthony Joshua is somebody that is no longer on the last legs of their competitiveness in terms of opportunities at a title. This Anthony Joshua is no longer an Anthony Joshua that is just a name that is marketable, because of his smile, because of his body, because of his, again, power and reputation. Now his in-ring performance backs all that up. This Anthony Joshua is a Joshua that we can say, hey, he can be a champion. This Joshua going up against Usyk can have a real shot. I'm not saying that he's going to win, but I'm saying this Joshua against Usyk, especially with how it went from a unanimous decision to a split decision, and he had an even better performance in the second fight. He faces him again with this type of confidence, this type of outright utilizing every single ability in his arsenal, no longer being scared, no longer fighting timid, no longer fighting with a block, seemingly, on some of his skills. This Joshua can give Usyk him up for his money. This Joshua can make one of the biggest fights in British boxing history, let alone heavyweight boxing history, AJ versus Fury. This fight can give that fight the requisite legitimate fight, not just marketability of, oh man, two of the biggest British heavyweights that we've seen going at it is going to draw in millions. No. It's not just the name value anymore. The product that can be produced now is going to be something special. And the product against Wilder would be spectacular with this type of Anthony Joshua. Again, because this Anthony Joshua, one of the biggest reasons why I was saying that Joshua wouldn't be able to beat Wilder was because he fought timid so many other times, despite him being a better fighter in the box all around, that my thinking was if he fought against Wilder, he wouldn't have a shot, despite him having better boxing acumen. Because he would let himself lose himself, not just to the threat of getting knocked out, but to not having access or the ability to utilize everything in his arsenal, because he would fight in a style that wouldn't be conducive. That's what I was thinking was going to be. Now, however, completely different, especially going into what we saw with Deontay Wilder, which I'm just about to touch on. But real quick, last thing on Anthony Joshua. Joshua proved me wrong. Thankfully so. Joshua, actually, let me rephrase, he didn't prove me wrong. He did what I've been saying he needed to do. Proving me wrong was him losing the fight. He didn't lose the fight. But he finally adapted in the way that I needed him to adapt. He got back into the mindset and got over the mental problems that we were seeing physically stop him from being the best AJ. Again, even in the knockout with Robert Elenius, like I talked about in the last episode, he was still, while the knockout was incredible, everything else before that didn't look like the Joshua that I needed to see. Still, Anthony Joshua was lacking something. And that something was confidence. I've been saying that. I said it about Robert Elenius in that fight, or about the Robert Elenius fight on this show. If he can't get over the mental blocks that have him tied down, he won't be able to be what he needs to be, not just to beat Wilder, but to be a champion in any way, shape, or form. And now he's gotten that confidence back in this AJ. It's like the AJ of old. This AJ has the semblance of the AJ of old. This Anthony Joshua is about as close as we can see to the Anthony Joshua that had a knockout streak of 20-0. To the Anthony Joshua that beat Klitschko. To the Anthony Joshua that got knocked down by Klitschko and got back up and knocked him down and then knocked him out. Or rather got the fight stopped. The Joshua that went through adversity, the Joshua that was outright confident in everything, not just believed in his own hype, but walked in it and fought like such. Now, anytime he goes into a pre-fight presser, a pre-fight anything, weigh-in, whatever, we can now solidly say that the mentality that he says he wants to bring to the ring, he can back it up, and that is real. He didn't show it. It was a different frame of production versus projection for Anthony Joshua. What he projected, what he wanted to be, versus what he was inside the ring. Now that's not the case anymore. His projection and his production both line up. Both stay true. Both have legitimate credit. Both are real. It's not a facade anymore. It's not fake confidence. Not saying that Joshua was ever fake, but I'm talking about what he projected versus what he would produce in the ring and how he would look in the ring was not the same. My gripe with Joshua wasn't that he wasn't good. He was good. It wasn't that he didn't have tools to be something great, because he does. It was the fact that he was holding himself back because the remnants of that loss was still seen in the way that he fought. The remnants of Andy Ruiz was still seen in the way that he fought. Now, it's about gone. There's still just a touch that I see. We know it's there. But no longer is it going to hold him back. He's now pushing through. He's pushing out of it. He's pushing through what was holding him back. He's pushing through the mentality. He's pushing through the weight. He's pushing through the door to get to where he needs to be. And that's exactly what we wanted Anthony Joshua to do. And he did it. And it's incredible. It's more. We love it. It is exactly what we wanted to see from Anthony Joshua.